Jonathan, can you tell me a bit about yourself and your background?
Yes, of course. I've spent most of my career in the investment industry, over 25 years, during which time I've covered public and private equity as an investment manager. I've also worked in research, and I've worked both in emerging and developed markets. During that time, I've also covered practically every sector under the sun. So it's a broad and dare I say it, long experience.
So what will you be covering on the course and how do you approach it?
Well, the course is very much based around my practical experience, and I still work in the industry, so I have a lot of current real-life case studies and a lot of practical examples, which are the basis for discussion. In terms of the actual content of the course, we start with an overview of the sector. And sometimes even for people who have been working in the sector for some time, it can be useful to put it into context and to understand some of the drivers, the reasons, the benefits, the risks, the problems of investment in the private equity and in venture capital. We talk through the investment structures. We talk about how investment funds are put together. We touch a little bit upon how investment funds are raised, the roles of the general partner and the limited partner. We talk about the life cycle of the fund, and we talk about different investment strategies. So private equity and venture capital covers a very wide range of potential strategies, and we address what those different approaches can be. We then talk about the investment process, and this is really in some ways the meat of the course. We talk about everything from investment origination, analysis, due diligence, understanding and mitigating risk. Risk is a very important topic in private equity. We talk about valuation and pricing, how to maximize returns, and the importance of getting pricing right. We talk about structuring. We touch upon tax issues. We don't go into tax issues in great detail, but we touch upon those issues also. We talk about the approval and execution, the role of the investment committee, and the different levels of documentation involved in the process. We talk about managing the investment, and this is something I think which often gets overlooked, but private equity is much more than just making an investment, it's managing an investment. And in that context, we talk about what happens when things go wrong. And that is a very important subject because every private equity investor will at some stage have a problem investment. So we discuss that and we look at case studies. And we look at exit strategies because after all, the objective of private equity is making a profit from buying a company and selling it on later at a higher price. And we look at different methods of exiting an investment and some of the problems and issues around the exit process.
If you had to summarise why someone should attend and what the take-homes would be, what would you say?
Well, as to why somebody should attend, I think it's important to understand where they're coming from, why they want to be there in the first place. The course is aimed at anybody from people who just want to become involved in the private equity industry and want to understand it better before they do, to people who are already working in the industry and want a wider and more thorough understanding, to potentially also people who work elsewhere within an investment business and want to know or need to know about the process and the workings of the private equity team. And the takeaways, I suppose, are that once one has done this course, one will have a full understanding of all the aspects of private equity. So even if you're working there already, understanding exactly what all your colleagues do and how they do it and why they do it will allow you to work better and I think to enjoy your work better.